All right, tubers, Jeff Lindsay in the garage. We Memorial Day weekend, getting started off on Saturday. Been a little under the weather with strep throat and sinus infection, and we're feeling a lot better than we were, but it don't sound good. So I'll try to keep all the talking to a minimum. But I can be miserable in the shop just as easy as I can be miserable in the house, and I have been for the past 3 days. So we're going to be miserable in the shop today for as long as we can stand it. We've got our black ABS plastic. We've got our headliner foam, which is a 1/4 inch closed cell foam. And we've got our black vinyl material in the sewing room in there. We're going to do it in 2 pieces. And if I decide that we can get the whole thing once we get it done, if it can be got in and out of here relatively easy, probably at an angle, we'll attach it from the back side where the seam is, and once we put that foam and vinyl over it, you'll never know that this part is in 2 pieces. We do have to come along here and heat this on each side so it will kind of follow the contour of this panel. I know that's hard to see with all that black. Let's see if we can get that light in there and help things out some. Yeah, maybe a little bit. But you can see the contour of this. We're going to try to make this follow that as closely as possible. First thing we're going to do is find center, attach it center to center, and then we're going to come in here and start cutting. This stuff is 1/8 inch thick, and it is pretty flexible already. I don't think it'll take much heat to just form it right to that. And this will end up looking a lot more like the later model headliners, like what's in your newer vehicles. That's what I am after. Hopefully it works out. If it does, it'll be an option to the bow style headliner that I really don't like. So that's what we're up to. We'll bring you along. All right, YouTube, we put a 4-inch piece across the middle and attached it. There we get this thing to clear up a little bit. And then we just got it clamped down in the front in a couple of places that'll hold it tight. Now we're going to take the heat gun and come right in here, and we're just going to try to mold this plastic to that sub panel just like it is, and then we'll come back and trim it off. So just showing you what we're up to right here. We got that 4-inch piece. That'll be our place where that seam meets. And if we have to do it in 2 pieces, that's there just for that reason. If we don't have to use it, we may not even use it, but that's what we got it there for right now. All right, we're gonna put some heat to it, see if we can mold this thing to the sub panel. All right, tubers. As we put our heat to the piece, we just let it mold right up to where that sub panel folds right up, and we just put a couple of screws, and it kind of levels off out in the front, and you'll see it when I flip it over and trim this piece down. Same way on both sides. We just took a little push board as we got it warmed up and just pushed it down in so it's flush with where the sub panel comes up toward the drip rail area. On both sides, it turned out pretty decent, looks like. We're gonna flip it over and make our marks on the outside, and go ahead and take a little air saw and trim those pieces down some, and we'll trim down across the front there. And we'll keep it clamped up as we go. And then that'll be the front section of that piece there. And then we can start on the back one. The back one's gonna be a little harder for me to get to. I'm not 100% sure just how I'm gonna do it, but we'll figure it out for sure. But it's gonna be a little tough across that back. What I might end up doing is just putting a screw in, you know, on the front across here, a couple like we did here, and just try to clamp the back the same way instead of trying to screw it in until we get the car turned over like we want it. So just showing you what we up to, just trying to mold this plastic into a headliner. And then we'll put our foam on it, and then the vinyl later on, but we'll try to get the headliner in the way we like it, make sure it's gonna look decent. And I pretty much understand why they put the bow style headliner in these things. I mean, they probably didn't have the technology like they do nowadays, but there's so many little contours and dips and ribs and things in here. It would have really probably looked kind of crazy, but using this 1/8 inch, you're going to take a lot of that mess out. You're not going to see a lot of little bumps and things. It'll be a smoother deal. So when we get along, we'll bring you back. This is the front half of the headliner cut out, molded to fit, and we're fixing to put it back in there and screw it down. Give you a shot of both sides. I cut it back to about halfway of the mark, and then that leaves me a little bit to kind of refine it. But you can see the contour of it turned out pretty good all the way around. So we like it. And I left plenty right here going down to A-pillars. I don't know right now, without putting them up there, how far back to cut this. So I'm just going to leave that little tagged in, and we'll cut it off later, YouTube. Alright, we'll stick it in there and bring you back for a shot. Let's see what it looks like. Alright, we just got a piece laid back in and screwed back in. Just took a few seconds to do. I did go ahead and add 2 in the front just to keep that from flopping and to keep from having to put the clamps back on it. So we're going to flip it over, look at it right side up, go around it, check our cut areas. Make sure that we in the ballpark pretty close before we start on the back piece. All right, we'll bring you back. All right, YouTube, this is kind of where you're going to earn your money, if you will. Looking at it right side up, you can see if it's starting to bag or sag, which, you know, I don't have my trim pieces in along the window edges on the inside, and there'll be a trim piece across the front and the back. But for right now, it's not sagging. I don't think it will. I mean, it may eventually way down the road. But right now, it looks pretty daggone good. I know my camera work ain't the best in the world. I don't have a very good one, but you can kind of tell. I mean, that's a slick finish. Once we get the foam and the vinyl on there, it'll look even better. The initial cut down was pretty close. And until I get that trim piece that goes across the front, I'm gonna leave this a little bit long, and we'll do all that once we get our once we wrap this with the vinyl and get our little pieces that we're gonna hold it up with, little trim pieces. I think the ones on this side and the passenger side are metal. What I've looked at online, they are metal. And then these will be a different material, a vinyl or rubber or whatever they are. So I'm not sure I'm even going to put one in the back once I go across and wrap the vinyl around the foam and then put my fasteners up like I'm going to. I mean, I don't think I'll ever even need one in the back, but in the front you'll see it all the time. But we'll see. We got a long way to go before we have to worry about that. But maybe that's showing up. The seam in the back, even with just 3 screws holding that up, it's tight. This stuff's pretty rigid. It's pretty rigid. You have to put a lot of heat to it to make it do anything. Let's see if looking at it from this way, and you can see, you can kind of see where it's molded toward the outside. You can see how it's done. This side right here needs to come on up, but that right there, I mean, it'll just come up with your hand. So I'll put a little more heat on it so I won't have to pull it tight with a screw, and it'll just mold and contour right on around. But no, I don't look too bad. I don't look too bad at all. So we're gonna start on the back piece, see what we can get done. We'll probably trim it down because it's not near as big. This is the bigger piece. We'll go ahead and make one trim cut and get our width fairly close. All right, we'll keep at it. All right, so we're still kind of in the same situation as far as the way I sound, so just bear with me on this. The back piece has been cut down and installed and looks very good. We went ahead and put each sail panel in on each side. I don't know if you see that or not. And we made sure that we had about 1 inch or so to go up under that sail panel. So just test fit those to make sure we didn't cut the platform for the headliner too short. But that's what we ended up with. That's what we were looking to do. That's exactly what I wanted. I will have to do a little more as far as the fasteners part of it. And I've also got to wait till I get that each side trim piece. I know where they go. I know that they have the little brackets that slide in these slotted areas. But I don't want to cut this down any lower until I have those, and then I test fit them, and then I can finish the headliner. But this is what we needed to do. From this point, we can actually finish it with the car in the upright position on the 4 tires, whatever. It won't be so bad. I can actually put this thing together with one other person, stick it up there, and install it. Shouldn't be any problem from this point. But to be able to mold that plastic so that it would contour to that sub panel, I needed this car to be upside down. I wouldn't dare try it. It probably could have been done. It would have been a lot harder. But that's what we ended up with. Really happy with that. And I think it's going to make a jam up looking headliner. And like I say, the only reason I did this is just personal preference. I really don't like the bow style headliner. I feel confident that I could have installed one of those, you know, after studying up on it some. I've seen it done a few times on YouTube. So, but the fact is, I think I'll like this better. Hopefully I will. Kind of too late now, but we'll live with it. All right, we'll get on to something else and bring you along. All right, so we got the car turned up at about a 45. Just give you hopefully a decent shot of the way that turned out from another angle. While we've got it flipped up and flipped over, we're going to cut those tagged ends off. I put one of the A-pillar covers on just to kind of get an idea of how long I need to leave that. We're going to leave probably about 1 inch sticking down inside there. So that'll be a finished look, obviously, with the A-pillar cover. We won't have to worry about that. Similar to what we got going on back there, just A-pillar, B-pillar covers covering up the headliner. And then our side trim moldings will take care of the driver's side and the passenger side. So we'll leave that for now and trim those off. That'll wind up this video. Don't know how much we got. I'm sure we got plenty to show. That was the intent though, was to get that molded. And I know I've said that, but we did what we wanted to do this weekend, even though we didn't feel like doing much. So we'll wind it up here. We'll start on another video of some kind. We've got several little things we can be doing. As soon as I get the glue, I'll put the foam on that, and I'll put my fasteners, the way I'm going to do the fastening part of it. I'll have all that ready. One day way down the road when the car's done, we'll be able to just stick the headliner in there hopefully and not have any trouble out of it. So again, thanks for watching the videos. Appreciate everybody tagging along. Thanks for the new subscribers that jumped on. Hopefully we'll be feeling better and sounding better the next video, but if not, we'll drudge through it. All right, Tuber, thank y'all.